we will begin the listening comprehension section of the test. Break the seal and open your test book to the first page. Read the directions for Section 1 in your test book as you listen to the directions on this recording. Do not read ahead or turn the pages until you are told to do so. Section 1, Listening Comprehension. In this section of the test, you will have an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to understand conversations and talks in English. There are 3 parts to this section with special directions for each part. Answer all the questions on the basis of what is stated or implied by the speakers in this test. Do not turn the pages until you are told to do so. Part A. Directions. In Part A, you will hear short conversations between 2 people. After each conversation, you will hear a question about the conversation. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Here is an example. On the recording, you hear,
"I don't like this painting very much."
Neither do I.
What does the man mean? In your test book, you read, A. He does not like the painting either. B. He does not know how to paint. C. He does not have any paintings. D. He does not know what to do. You learn from the conversation that neither the man nor the woman likes the painting. The best answer to the question, "What does the man mean?" is A. He does not like the painting either. Therefore, the correct choice is A. Go on to the next page. Now, we will begin Part A with the first conversation. Number 1.
Do you want to go see a movie with me and John this Saturday? You know, that movie we've been talking about?
Oh, it'd be fun, but I already promised Mary I'd help her with her class project on Saturday.
What does the woman imply? Number 2.
Those cookies look tempting, but I'm watching what I eat these days.
Me too. I'm trying to stay away from baked treats for dessert and to eat more healthful things like fresh fruit.
What does the woman mean? Number 3.
So, are you going to sign up for any classes for the summer semester?
I haven't made up my mind yet.
What does the man mean? Number 4.
I'm going downtown after this meeting. Does anyone need anything?
Oh, if I can get a ride from you, could you drop me off at the bank?
What does the man imply? Number 5.
I see you're reading the new Andrew Walker mystery. The best part's right at the end when you find out.
Don't tell me. I'm only on the first chapter, so don't spoil it for me.
What does the woman mean? Number 6.
You want to go running down by the lake after psychology class? I'd really like to take advantage of the beautiful weather this afternoon.
Well, Normally I'd be getting together with my study group then, but I guess I could skip that. Just this once.
What does the man imply? Number 7.
My workload's starting to get so stressful that I'm finding it hard to concentrate.
Have you tried exercise? I find that it really works, even if you can't do it every day.
What does the man mean? Number 8.
Why was Jeff talking so loud in class? The classroom isn't that large.
Actually, that's just his normal way of speaking.
What does the woman mean? Number 9.
I've never seen anyone who goes through eyeglasses as fast as you do.
I know, this is already my 3rd pair this year, but this is it. I can't afford to break anymore.
What does the man mean? Number 10.
This traffic is terrible. At this rate, we'll be late for the concert.
Yeah, I guess we should have left ourselves more time.
What does the woman imply? Number 11.
Excuse me, has the mail come yet? I'm expecting a letter from home.
You should probably check back after lunch.
What does the woman imply? Number 12.
I'm going to drop Introduction to Economics. I thought that first class was so boring.
It sure was, but I'm just gonna have to stick with it. It's a requirement for my major.
What does the woman mean? Number 13.
After all that construction, it's finally starting to look like a real building next door.
I'm afraid we still have many more months of noise and dust to look forward to.
What does the man imply? Number 14.
How's your job search coming along? Are you finished with your resume yet?
Well, what I want to do is adapt it for each company I apply to, so I only have a rough draft right now.
What does the woman mean? Number 15.
Excuse me, I think you just dropped a glove on the floor over there.
Oh, yes, I did. I've lost more gloves that way.
What will the man probably do? Number 16.
It looks like you banged up your knee pretty bad on those stairs. Shouldn't you see a doctor?
I'm planning to as soon as I can, but I need to find a ride first. I don't think I could walk all the way there.
What will the man probably do? Number 17.
I tried to enroll in that sociology seminar, but it's full, so I'm on the wait list.
Me too, but I made an appointment with my academic advisor. She's helped me get into closed classes in the past.
What does the man imply about his advisor? Number 18.
Are you coming to the basketball game on Saturday?
You can count on it.
What does the man mean? Number 19.
Hey Barbara, I heard the math department's looking for tutors. I doubt they pay much, but I bet you'd be great at it.
That sounds interesting. A little extra cash would really come in handy.
What will the woman probably do? Number 20.
I can't believe Jane is not coming with us to see the play this weekend. It would be such fun for her.
Well, she thought she needed to read up on her class assignments. You have to respect her decision.
What does the man mean? Go on to the next page. Number 21.
Do you know which bus I have to take to get downtown from the university?
Well, I always walk because it's not that far from the campus, but my roommate has a schedule with bus routes I can give you.
What does the woman suggest the man do? Number 22.
I need someone to keep my cat while I'm away next weekend.
Well, you know I'd do it, but your cat hates unfamiliar surroundings, not to mention dogs.
What does the woman imply? Number 23.
Guess what? Steve Johnson is selling me his mountain bike, and I'm getting it for only $100.
That's a steal.
What does the woman mean? Number 24.
How did your presentation go?
It wasn't bad, but I don't think the audience found it interesting.
What does the man mean? Number 25.
Are you still planning to come play volleyball with us this weekend?
You know, I'm going to have to disappear for a while. That's the only way this thesis is going to get written. But I'll take a rain check.
What does the man imply? Number 26.
Are you going to turn in your psychology paper on time? You know that Professor Harris gives late papers an automatic grade reduction.
Well, it looks like I'm going to get a lower grade.
What will the man probably do? Number 27.
I'm sorry the place is a mess, but we weren't expecting guests to show up for at least another hour.
Oh, I thought the dinner invitation said 6 o'clock. Well, maybe I could give you a hand with something?
What does the man mean? Number 28.
With Susan still out injured, I thought for sure we'd lose last night.
Yeah, it's good to see the team finally learning how to play together.
What can be inferred from the conversation? Number 29.
Good luck on the drive home tonight and all that weekend traffic. I spent an hour on the bridge last week.
Actually, the route I take, it's a little longer, but a lot less crowded.
What does the man mean? Number 30.
I wanted to see our professor, but she's not in her office. I thought she had office hours on Mondays.
I'm not sure about that. She posted a new schedule last week.
What does the man imply about the professor? This is the end of Part A. Go on to the next page. Now read along as the directions for Part B are being read. Part B. Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear longer conversations. After each conversation, you will hear several questions. The conversations and questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Go on to the next page. Now, we will begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 through 34. Listen to a conversation between 2 students.
Hey Gloria, where are you off to?
The lab. I'm taking a biology class with Professor Johnson.
Really? How do you like it?
Oh, it's excellent. You know how some classes can be boring? Well, his are actually fun. He makes the class really interactive. You know, lots of discussion, working in small groups and stuff.
I don't know if I'd like being asked a lot of questions in class. It might make me a bit nervous.
I thought that too, at first, but you'd be surprised. It's not a big deal if you're prepared for class. And he makes you feel so comfortable. You get used to it right away.
Well, maybe I might be interested for next semester. What's the workload like?
Well, besides the lectures and the usual reading assignments, you gotta attend the lab every week. The experiments are interesting, but they'll keep you pretty busy the whole semester.
I'm going to be working on a big sociology project next semester, so I probably ought to take his class some other time.
Well, I heard that he might be retiring after next semester, and you wouldn't want to take that class from anyone else.
So I guess I have no choice but to register for it next semester, huh?
Well, you've got a few weeks before the registration deadline, but trust me, you won't be sorry.
Okay, I'll think about it. See you later.
Number 31. What are the students mainly discussing? Number 32. What aspect of Professor Johnson's class might make the man nervous? Number 33. What does the woman imply about the laboratory experiments? Number 34. Why does the woman suggest the man register for the biology class for next semester? Questions 35 through 39. Listen to a conversation between a student and her professor.
Allison, it's good to see you back. How was your time in England?
It was an incredible experience, Professor Strauss, and the theater was definitely the best thing. Seeing Shakespeare in England, I don't know, it just seemed so alive, so right. It opened a whole new world for me.
So you had plenty of opportunities to go to the theater?
Did I ever? Some of the plays were for class, but I saw a lot more on my own. Unfortunately, it's all causing me a bit of a problem now.
How so?
Well, when I signed up for your class, I didn't realize I'd already studied 2 of the 3 dramas.
Somebody didn't read the course description before registering.
Sorry. You know how we're supposed to register in advance over the internet? So anyway, I had to do it while I was still in England, and I almost forgot about it, so in the end, I was really rushed. Anyway, I studied 2 of the plays for one of my classes last semester, and I saw the other one on my own and wrote a paper about it for extra credit.
I'm not sure I really see a problem. I mean, there are many approaches to Shakespeare. Historical, literary, psychological, and as many points of view as there are scholars. I mean, I can't believe I'll cover the same points you did last semester. Are you sure there's that much overlap?
Well, they're the same plays, and both classes emphasize the historical context. I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be the best use of my time right now.
Well, I admire you for not taking the easy way out. And if you're determined to drop the class, I'll sign the form for you. But have you decided what you'll take instead?
I was thinking of an independent study. I was looking at the schedule for the Shakespeare Festival the English department's sponsoring this semester, and they're doing 3 plays I don't know very well. I thought, well, maybe I could do some kind of study on them, sort of like what you'll be doing in class. I mean, I'm really interested in what you're going to be looking at in your plays, the historical aspect and all. And, I was hoping you'd agree to supervise me?
Independent study. I mean, you really have to work closely with your professor to set up a study schedule and stick to it. Even then, most students, I don't know, it seems like they just do better if they have an actual class to go to.
Oh, but most of my courses in England were tutorials, sort of like independent study, so I'm used to working like that.
No, maybe it can work. Okay, tell you what. Write up a proposal, the plays, how you'll approach them, etc., and give me copies of any papers you wrote last semester. I'll look everything over and let you know in a couple of days.
Number 35. Why does the woman go to see the professor? Number 36. What problem does the woman have this semester? Number 37. What does the professor imply about his approach to Shakespeare in the class he will teach this semester? Number 38. Why does the professor ask to see the papers the woman wrote last semester? Number 39. What is the professor's attitude toward the woman's request to do an independent study? This is the end of Part B. Go on to the next page. Now, read along as the directions for Part C are being read. Part C, Directions. In this part of the test, you will hear several short talks. After each talk, you will hear some questions. The talks and the questions will not be repeated. After you hear a question, read the 4 possible answers in your test book and choose the best answer. Then, on your answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer you have chosen. Here is an example. On the recording, you hear, "Listen to a professor talk to his class about a television program."
I'd like to tell you about an interesting TV program that'll be shown this coming Thursday. It'll be on from 9 to 10 p.m. on Channel 4. It's part of a series called Mysteries of Human Biology. The subject of the program is the human brain, how it functions and how it can malfunction. Topics that will be covered are dreams, memory, and depression. These topics are illustrated with outstanding computer animation that makes the explanations easy to follow. Make an effort to see this show. Since we've been studying the nervous system in class, I know you'll find it very helpful.
Now listen to a sample question. What is the main purpose of the program? In your test book you read, A. To demonstrate the latest use of computer graphics. B. To discuss the possibility of an economic depression. C. To explain the workings of the brain. D. To dramatize a famous mystery story. The best answer to the question, what is the main purpose of the program, is C. To explain the workings of the brain. Therefore, the correct choice is C. Now, listen to another sample question. Why does the professor recommend watching the program? In your test book you read, A. It is required of all science majors. B. It will feature the professor's research. C. It can help viewers improve their memory skills. D. It will help with coursework. The best answer to the question, why does the professor recommend watching the program, is D. It will help with coursework. Therefore, the correct choice is D. Go on to the next page. Now, we will begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 40 through 43. Listen to part of a lecture in a physiology class.
Astronauts exposed to the microgravity environment of space lose a significant amount of bone mass, about 11% of hip bone mass on average, after several months in space. One study found that astronauts in the space station lose as much bone density in a single month as a woman in her 70s loses over the course of a year. And after returning to Earth, it can take well over a year for astronauts to regain normal bone structure and density. When bones become weakened like this, more porous, the risk for fractures increases, which is a big concern for lengthy space missions like traveling to Mars and back. So, we're experimenting with ways of keeping astronauts' bones strong. On Earth, Bone strength is normally maintained because old bone cells are constantly being broken down and replaced by new cells. The mechanical force of working against gravity is translated by our bodies into biochemical signals, and it's these signals that stimulate the process of bone renewal. But in space, bone renewal slows down because weightlessness adversely affects the process. The body has trouble processing minerals like calcium and phosphorus that are important to bone health. Microgravity reduces the levels of hormones involved in maintaining bone strength as well. To counteract these effects and hopefully prevent bones from weakening, astronauts exercise on equipment that mimics the conditions of gravity on Earth, like a weightlifting machine or a stationary bicycle. Of course, these exercise machines include special straps to prevent the astronauts from floating off.
Number 40. According to the professor, what problem do astronauts have after spending a month in space? Number 41. Why does the professor mention Mars? Number 42. According to the professor, what is one way that microgravity affects bones? Number 43. What point does the professor emphasize about exercise equipment designed for astronauts? Questions 44 through 46. Listen to part of a lecture in an environmental science class.
One consequence of air pollution is acid precipitation. Acid precipitation, rain, snow, fog, occurs when water vapor combines with certain pollutants in the atmosphere. This reaction forms an acid, like sulfuric acid. Acid precipitation is a well-known environmental threat to ecosystems like lakes and forests, but it also damages historic buildings and monuments. It's normal for these structures to undergo some deterioration over time from, say, wind erosion, but acid precipitation tends to speed up normal weathering processes. Structures made from limestone and marble are especially at risk because they contain calcite. Acid dissolves calcite. Eventually, smooth surfaces get roughened. Carved decorations lose their details, and corners that used to be sharp become rounded. Granite, however, resists acid, not because it's so hard, but because granite contains a lot of silica, and silica doesn't react with acid. But with limestone and marble structures, even areas that are sheltered from precipitation are at risk, because wherever there's acid precipitation, there's also acidic gas in the air. When sulfuric acid gas reacts with calcite and water in the air, a mineral crust forms. Dirt collects on this crust, turning it black, and when the blackened crust flakes off, it exposes crumbling stone underneath. Scientists are working on ways to reduce the pollutants that cause acid precipitation to form in the first place. They're also trying to figure out how to protect important stone structures.
Number 44. What is the main purpose of the lecture? Number 45. What point does the professor make about calcite? Number 46. What might cause a crust to form on stone surfaces? Questions 47 through 50. Listen to part of a lecture in a business class.
Anthropologists don't just sit at their desks analyzing data. They go into the field and observe people in their everyday settings. This same approach is now being used in the business world to identify problems and figure out how to better meet the needs of customers. Let's say your company makes toothpaste and you're deciding on a new flavor. So you recruit a group of consumers, a focus group, and ask them to try a few flavors and give feedback. But businesses have been learning a hard lesson. Words don't always reflect reality. Members of focus groups might say they love fruit-flavored toothpaste just to be nice, then never buy it. So companies are turning to direct observations of how consumers behave at work, home, while shopping, driving. At a company that markets liquid soap for babies, parents were observed struggling to open the soap bottle while giving their baby a bath. The bottle was then redesigned so parents could open it with one hand while supporting the baby with the other. Another form of anthropological fieldwork is called participant observation. In one company, managers spent time working alongside rank-and-file employees doing the same tasks. In another company, one that sells office supplies, everyone, even senior executives, spends their first week working on a retail floor, helping shoppers find things, ringing up sales, putting merchandise on display. In both of these examples, you can identify inefficiencies you might not learn about otherwise.
Number 47. What is the talk mainly about? Number 48. What weakness of focus groups does the professor discuss? Number 49. What did the company that markets baby soap discover? Number 50. What does the office supply company require its newly hired executives to do? This is the end of Section 1, Listening Comprehension. Stop work on Section 1. This is a reminder.